the Kumbh to continue, to take place. But viewers, has that happened? No, no, no. Not a word of criticism for the Muslim group has escaped the lips of this same Congress ecosystem or any of the India bloc parties. Not one word. No one is calling these people lumpen, Jinnah followers. No one from their ecosystem, viewers, is coming out and saying this is not the way. If you want to build bridges with the Hindus, you can't be disrespecting their most elemental festivities, their traditions and their rituals. You can't be taking their land. Viewers, not one word of criticism. Nobody has come out and said anything. But first, here is the outlandish claim in the words of the cleric Maulana Shahabuddin Razvi, the president, no less, of the All India Muslim Jamat. And he says, and I quote, the All India Akhada Parishad has asked that no non-Sanatanis be given permission to set up stalls in the Mela area. They have also asked devotees and attendees not to give any business to Muslims. We have not raised any objections over the 55 bigha of Waqf land being used for the Kumbh, unquote. Viewers, what is he saying? We Muslims have not raised any objections over the 55 bigha of Waqf land being used for the Kumbh. Viewers, the Kumbh came much before Islam even began to spread out of Arabia. The Kumbh predates by 1,000 years, by a whole millennia, Islam. The only ones who are outraged as of now are Hindu groups, which of course is predictable. Chakrapani Maharaj, Hindu seer, has come out and said, I believe that immediate action should be taken against people who spoil the atmosphere in this way. FIR should be registered against them and they should be arrested. If such people are out, they will keep asking such nonsense and spoil the atmosphere of the country, unquote. Sadhvi Ritambra, Hindu religious leader, has said, those who divided the country based on religion, they are capturing India's land with the conspiracy of Waqf. This conspiracy should be stopped. No politics is happening regarding Maha Kumbh. It is a place to get dharam and punja, unquote. Vinod Bansal, VHP National Spokesperson, as well as, of course, other leaders from the BJP have all come out and trashed, viewers, this Maulana. But viewers, nobody from the Congress ecosystem has opened their mouth. None of all those historians, that Medal Vapsi Brigade, Award Vapsi Brigade, nobody's written a letter to this Maulana to say, what are you doing? Anyhow, VHP National Spokesperson has said, and I quote, I think all of the Maulanas are following the line of Jinnah. And what he said, Ladke liya Pakistan, has kar lenge Hindustan. The dream of Ghazwa-e-Hind will remain just a dream. And if you keep saying such absurd things, the results will be negative for you, unquote. This is, of course, not the first time that the so-called secular, integrationist, inclusive ecosystem, as they call themselves, viewers, has sat silent as Muslim groups have made outrageous claims. And there's nothing to suggest that the claims are not themselves a part of a well thought through pattern or motive. Here are some of these claims, viewers. Yes, they're claiming, the Waqf is claiming the Kumbh land today, but on the 15th of October 2024, Badruddin Ajmal, AIUADF chief, one of the biggest political parties in Assam, said, I was in parliament for 15 years and there were rumors that parliament is built on Waqf land. That's why I'm asking for an investigation into this. And if it's true, then it is very wrong, unquote. There's been a claim on the Taj Mahal in August 2005. The UP Sunni Waqf Board laid a claim on Taj Mahal. Again, viewers, nobody from the ecosystem says, what rubbish. In fact, viewers, no one condemned these people, allowing them, emboldening them to constantly make these outlandish claims and incite Hindus and others. In this case, of course, viewers, this is UP Sunni Waqf Board laying a claim on the Taj. And at that time, this was thought to be an internal matter of the Muslim community. Let them do what they want to. Then the Waqf claimed an entire village in Govindpur, Bihar, declared as a Waqf in August 2024. All the villagers receive notices stating the land they occupy belongs to the Waqf and they must vacate. In September 2024, Waqf Board claimed ownership of 6 temples in Delhi. Yes, viewers, 6. Then, viewers, in November 2024, in its notice, the Waqf Board stated that a 115-year-old Uday Pratap College in Varanasi belongs to it. 115 years, viewers, they were silent. Suddenly they woke up. All of this, viewers, all these instances that I am bringing out to you, including the one today, of this mainstream Maulana, of a mainstream Muslim body saying that the entire Kumbh is taking place on Waqf land and Muslims have not asked for it back because we are magnanimous. All of these weirdo claims, viewers, brings me to ask some basic questions. Can any Muslim invested in multiculturalism endorse the claim by the president of the All India Muslim Jamat? Where are the OACs, the India bloc parties who talk about secularism and accommodation today? Why aren't they speaking up? Is the Waqf being used as a legal weapon to wage Ghazwa-e-Hind, to deny Hindus a place in Bharat? Is the onus, viewers, only on Hindus to maintain good relations with other communities? And are others exempt? They can say what they like, they can provoke how much they want. So only the Hindus that must mind their P's and Q's, is it? Let's ask some questions, viewers, and I want to go straight across to Waris Pathan, National Spokesperson of the AIMIM, a party led by the incomparable Asaduddin Owaisi, barrister, English-educated barrister, if you please, viewers. And Waris Pathan Saab, I want to ask you, sir, why haven't you condemned this Maulana, this All India Muslim Jamat Maulana Shahabuddin Razvi? Why haven't you said that he is a latter-day Jinnah, that he wants to split India, that he wants to wage by proxy Ghazwa-e-Hind to get rid of Hindus? I'm not hearing all this. Is this only reserved for Hindus, sir?
Well, Rahul, to begin with, let me tell you, the Supreme Court has time and again said once a Waqf, always a Waqf. But here the question is the intention of the BJP and the RSS. Their intentions are malified. Their intentions are to usurp the property belonging to the Muslims, the Waqf properties. Why I say that? Because bringing an amendment bill in the parliament, which is now before the JPC. The JPC is holding meetings. Our party president Asaduddin Owaisi is also the member of the JPC. And it will be decided by them whether the Waqf amendment bill should be allowed or it should be rejected outright. But here, if somebody has claimed that, okay, this property belongs to Waqf, then it is for onus lies on him to prove that, okay, there are documents to suggest that this property is of Waqf. The Waqf board is there, Waqf tribunal is there. If somebody is aggrieved, he can definitely go there and prove. And if he is aggrieved from the Waqf board order, they may definitely move the higher courts and get an order in their favor or whatever they can. But here the intentions, you see, everybody has read the amendments which have been given in the parliament, submitted before the parliament. The amendments are, Rahul per se says that they want to interfere into the property of the Waqf. Now SDM and DCM will decide whether the property is Waqf or no. Now, have you ever heard that at the Hindu Endowment Board, any Muslim is there as a caretaker or a party to it or a member of the board? Nowhere. But here bringing this kind of bill and saying that no, he will be there in the Waqf board, this is something which is interfering into the personal matter of the Muslims. Is Waqf not a property belong to? This is a private property. Let me remind you time and again, the Waqf property is a private property, is not a public property, which Modi should know and clarify.
Right.
That is why we say,
okay,
there are Waqf properties.
Two questions.
There,
Mr. Pathan, two questions to you.
Because 400, 500 years, nobody was registering the properties. Yeah, during that period.
Two counter questions to you, Mr. Pathan. Thank you for laying out your proposition. Yeah. But two questions. Can this Hindu Endowment Board claim properties of Muslims? Yes or no?
If the property belongs to the Muslim, they cannot. If the property belongs to the Hindus, the Muslim cannot.
Okay.
If the property is under the Hindu Endowment
Board,
how
the
can
Hindu Endowment Board cannot claim any property, even if it is a property belonging to Hindus.
If there are documents.
One second, sir, one second. One second. Yeah. I now want to come to my second question, which I will bring on to that point that you are making. You said if people have documents, they can move the courts. And if the Waqf has documents, they can move the courts. Let the courts decide whether the property belongs to the Waqf or not. That's what you said, right, Mr. Pathan?
Right.
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 So if tomorrow someone came around from the
Why I
Hindu
said
side,
so.
1 second, and they said that, look, no, 1 second, let me finish. And they said that yes, the Gyanvapi mosque, we have all the documents to show that this was a Hindu temple that has been taken over at the point of a sword. The temple there was destroyed and we are moving court. Why, Mr. Pathan, do you have a problem with that? You constantly have a problem with that. You say that is an invasion of Muslim properties. This is a forcible takeover.
I have a problem. Allow me.
Yes, yes.
I have a problem, Rahul, because the Places of Worship Act 1991 is still into existence.
You leave that
And
to
was
the court to
intention
decide,
bring
no?
The Places of Worship Act was clear. No, the courts have already said Places
Right.
of Worship Act into existence. It has been decided. Now the
Okay.
matter is sub judice. But what was the intention for bringing the Places of Worship Act? So
Brilliant.
that this question could not have arisen today.
What a good
Any
point
place, monument, 50
Mr. Pathan has made.
1947.
What a
You
fantastic
cannot
point.
change the nature or character of that place.
Viewers-
Why you want to change the character?
Viewers,
Because you
what
want
a
to take back the
fantastic
country to the
point
91 era.
Mr.
You
Pathan
want to
has
take
made
back
tonight.
the country to the 91 era.
Fantastic
You want to
point.
get it to the Babri era. Yeah, that is
Mr.
what the intentions
Pathan,
are.
fantastic
That's why I
point.
said
You have
time and
hit the
again
nail
Modi
on the
government
head
wants
and
to
I
rise the
congratulate you.
situation.
I congratulate you, Mr. Pathan, for hitting the nail on the head. You have hit the cricket ball out of the park for a
Yeah,
six.
I hit that,
Now,
yeah.
viewers, listen to me. What kind of country is this? That Hindus can't go to court with documents. With documents, go to court. I am not saying that they take a shovel and they dig up
Why
or they
can't they
do.
go?
One second, let
Why
me finish.
can't they go?
Let me
So why are
finish.
you spreading
Let me
canards
finish.
and
Let me
lies?
finish.
Why
Let me
can't a
finish.
Hindu go to
Let
a
me
court?
finish. Let me
Court is
finish.
open for
Let me
everybody,
finish.
everybody.
Mr. Pathan, you're not going to allow me to finish. That's not fair. I allowed you to finish, sir. You said everything you had to say. Now, viewers, think about it. The Waqf allows Muslims with so-called documents to go and say, look, this Kumbh area, we have some documents to show this is Waqf lands to get the Hindus out of this Kumbh area. And they can go to court. But if Hindus go, they say, no, there is something called the Places of Worship Act. Now, viewers, think about this. One community is allowed to go to court. The other community has been stopped from going to court. And we call ourselves a secular equal democracy.
No.
Viewers,
no.
this is bizarre.
No, false.
Now,
false accusation.
Mr. Pathan, straight
These are
question,
totally
straight
false
question,
and
straight
baseless
question,
allegations.
straight
No,
question.
Rahul, let me correct you.
Oh,
you
correct
cannot tell
me.
the Hindus of the country that they have no right to approach the court. Every citizen of the country has a right to approach the court.
Right.
If he feels that no, he has got certain documents.
You just
and
said-
he wants to prove his case beyond
You
reasonable
just
doubt, he
said,
can
you
approach
just
the court.
said that the Places of Worship Act
You
stops.
say why Hindus cannot go and only
You
Muslims
said
can
that the
go.
Places of
Because
Worship
you
Act
say so.
stops Hindus.
You say so.
You say that the
This is
Places
for
of
both.
Worship Act
It is for
stops
Hindus
Hindus.
and Muslims both.
Should Hindus therefore go? Should
It
Hindus
is
therefore
for the
go?
Hindus and Muslims,
So
Christians,
ask
Sikhs,
me,
everybody.
answer me.
That
Sambal.
law is for
Should
law is
the
applicable to
Hindus
all,
not be
only
allowed to go
Muslims
to
or
court to
Hindus.
check
It's
out
for
the...
all.
1 second. Should Hindus not be allowed to go to court to check up the antecedents of Sambhal Mosque?
Allowed.
Allowed.
Go.
Now viewers, look
Who
at his
stopped
boss.
them? Who stopped them? They already
Asaduddin
moved.
Owaisi says that should
They
not be
already
allowed.
there.
That
They
should
already
not be
there.
allowed
They
because there is a
already
Place of Worship Act. And it is Mr.
Because
Owaisi who
Places
said
of
this in the
Worship
Supreme
Act,
Court.
that
He
act is
pleaded
into
himself.
existence.
This is
Pending an
this
act,
is
how
how
can
the
you go
this is how
beyond
the
the
goalpost changes. But I want to bring in Pradeep Bhandari.
You cannot. Rahul, everybody has a right to
Ah,
approach
right,
the
sir. You
honorable
can tell
court
Mr.
if he feels
Owaisi
that
that. Why has he
but
gone to the
Places of
Supreme
Worship
Court
Act,
then?
till it is
Why has he gone to the
existence, you
Supreme
cannot
Court?
go.
Why has he gone to the
Yeah,
Supreme
we are
Court?
there.
Now,
Already we are there.
Okay.
We are there in the
we are
Supreme
there
Court.
already there. We are already there. We are all prepared there. Okay, wait. No, very nice.
We are there. Yes, we are already
Okay,
there.
we are
have filed
there, we are
petition in
there.
the Supreme
Okay,
Court.
now viewers-
And our matter is tagged, fixed for 17
one quick
February for
question.
hearing,
Mr.
along with
Pathan,
Jagmeet
one
ulema.
quick question.
Yeah.
You will never be able to complain after this that I don't give you time. I've given you 10 minutes on the show. Straight question. Should this group, the president of this group, All India Muslim Jamat, Maulana Shahabuddin Razvi, apologize to the Hindu community for hurting their sentiments by claiming that the Maha Kumbh is taking place on Waqf land? Should he? Yes or no?
If he has got documents, let him prove.
Ah.
Let the Waqf Board take a decision. Let the Waqf Tribunal take a decision. Who am I to tell him anything? He has made a suggestion that this property belongs to the Waqf, where the Kumbh Mela is taking place. The onus lies on him. Okay, show documents. If it is there, it is Waqf. It is Waqf.
Okay.
If it is not Waqf, then they have to prove. The Waqf Tribunal will take care of it.
Okay, but we will not condemn. Viewers, if a Hindu gets up and says Tejo Mahal is a Hindu property and Mr. Oak, the historian, had said so, they will nail him. They will demand, viewers, an apology. They will ask him to be jailed. They will file police cases. But here, viewers, let him prove. Let him bring the documents. It's okay. What is the big deal? Hindus can go somewhere else. They can go by the banks of another river. What is the big deal? They can even leave if they don't like it. Viewers, this is the double standard. Pradeep Bhandari, I want to ask you, sir. I want to ask you. What is the UP administration going to do about All India Muslim Jamat, Maulana Shahabuddin Razvi, led by Yogi Adityanath, BJP Chief Minister?
Well, Rahul, we'll file the FIR at the appropriate time. Nobody, whether it is Samajwadi Party or any of these groups backed by the Samajwadi Party in the India Alliance, can prevent a massive grand Maha Kumbh where more than 40 crore Sanatanis are coming, and this is why they are irritated. But let me answer my friend at the start, Varis, who's completely wrong. Point number one, the Supreme Court has never said this, that once a waqf, always a waqf. It was a council while arguing in the Supreme Court which made a plea that once a waqf, always a waqf. Point number one. Point number two, Varis has not told this audience that the Waqf Act 1954 was amended in 2013 with the section 40 which gave unanimous power to the Waqf Board to claim any property as a waqf property, even a non-Islamic property as a waqf property, which was against the initial characteristic of the waqf. So a waqf has now started to operate as a land mafia. Point number three, no Hindu, Christian or any other individual has a separate tribunal in such cases. They approach a civil court. Here you do not approach a civil court. The party which is the affected party, that is the waqf, you have to approach the waqf to decide your own case, which is against the Constitution of India of Baba Sahib Bhimrao Ambedkar and against the principle of natural justice. This is why we will amend the Waqf Act through the Parliament of India. What Mr. Owaisi wants to do, he can do, because we believe in the Constitution of India. Now let me come to this part. No, this is not happening by a coincidence, what is being said by the Maulana.
Not by coincidence, you're saying?
Absolutely not.
By design?
Absolutely.
Whose
yes.
design?
It is by the design of the India Alliance and the Samajwadi Party. I will tell you how. If you recall, during Samajwadi Party's time, who was made in charge of Kumbh? It was Azam Khan, who was a Hindu hater. If you recall, he had diverted money for a Johar Mela in Rampur. Right now, Mr. Yogi Adityanath is spending 5 times the money which was spent earlier by the Samajwadi Party government. There is no CAG report which says that there is a corruption like at the time of Samajwadi Party government. And 4 times the people are coming than what it had come during the time of Samajwadi Party government. And this is why they want to discredit the Maha Kumbh festival by claiming it as a waqf land, and this is what they do with every Hindu festival.
So
remember what happened with,
that there is a general feeling of insecurity.
There is a genuine feeling of insecurity because ek hai to safe hai. Every Sanatani across the globe is coming. Can you tell me, anywhere across the world, have you seen such a congregation of individuals belonging to a faith coming together? Nowhere in the world.
Tariq Khan,
this is why their issue
Samajwadi Party National Spokesperson respond to Pradeep Bhandari, sir, on the point that he is making that this is a grand design. You're instigating these Maulanas.
Well, their people
at an institutional
level.
First of all, in 2019 there was a Ardh Kumbh, and there was also a CAG report says that कि इन लोगों ने वहां पर पैसे की लूट की थी. वो CAG report मेरे पास है. I'll send everybody. 2019 की CAG रिपोर्ट कि अर्ध कुंभ में 8.5 करोड़ रुपए का घोटाला भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार ने कहा था. I'll not do this. Okay. And first of all, let me say this. You say that a Hindu person or a Hindu community cannot approach to the court directly if there is a dispute. Okay. How there is a Gyanvapi case? How there is a case on Teenewala Masjid? How there is a Sambhal? How there is more than 11 places there has been cases in the lower court. And at the primary level, it has been asked that go to the tribunal. Lower court says, no, we will accept this play and hold all the procedure in that court. So how
do you support the cases? Do you support the cases?
I am presenting the
facts. Do you support the cases? 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 Then withdraw the petitions that you have filed. If you don't support the cases, I understand. If you support the cases, withdraw the petitions. Withdraw the petitions. Mr. Khan, if you support the cases, withdraw the petition.
Petitions are there.
Why?
Petitions are there.
Why should they be there?
No,
Why should they be there if you have no problems with Hindus approaching the courts?
I have no problems. Hindus should approach the courts.
Then why are you filing cases stopping Hindus from approaching courts?
There is worship.
I'm asking you,
still exists
let
there.
the court decide. The Chief Justice of India has come out and said that the Places of Worship Act do not apply to ASI monuments.
Liar.
You say that the Hindu Paksh cannot approach to the court. Now, how these matters are in the courts? Why they are not being
Mr.
heard in the tribunal?
Mr.
ये
Khan.
tribunal में क्यों नहीं है मामले? ये
Okay.
बताइए
I
आप
want to
मुझको।
ask you. First you
मुझे-
answer me.
आप मेरी बात का
I will
जवाब
answer
नहीं
you.
दे रहे।
I don't run
मेरी
away.
बात का आप
I will
जवाब
answer
दे
you.
दीजिए।
First
मेरी
you
बात का
answer
जवाब
me.
दे दीजिए।
Quick.
मैं चुप जाऊंगा।
Okay, ठीक है। मैं आपको बताता
मेरी
हूँ.
बात का आप जवाब दीजिए।
Viewers,
कैसे ये मामले
viewers,
ट्रिब्यूनल में जाने चाहिए ना?
Let me finish.
हाँ, बोलिए,
What did I
बोलिए।
say? That these people do not want Hindus to approach the courts. They say that Hindus should not be allowed to approach the courts. They say that Hindus should not be allowed to approach the court prima facie because there is the Place of Worship Act. That is the petition that they have moved. If there was no problem with Hindus approaching the court, why are these petitions being moved? Is the court not capable? One second. Or is not the court capable of deciding whether these petitions are ultra virus of the constitution or not, viewers? No. But they want to stop Hindus from approaching the courts. They don't want Hindus to approach the court. What are the Hindus doing, viewers? They are not doing, luckily and thankfully, what happened in 1991 when the Babri Masjid was pulled down, 92, on the 6th of December. They are not doing that, viewers. They have renounced that direct action methodology. They have said, no, we will approach our courts. And the moment they approach the courts, viewers, there is a petition filed to say, do not entertain their pleas. Why, viewers? Why? In the same breath, they say, no, it's okay for Muslims to approach the courts if they have documents. Do Hindus put counter petitions to say Muslims should not approach the court? And I want to bring in the BJP National Spokesperson. But before that, Mr. Khan, very quick question. Do you approve of what this president of the All India Muslim Jamat, Maulana Shahabuddin Razvi, has said? Do you approve or do you condemn him?
I condemn in a strongest word. Okay?
You'll condemn him?
Our party condemn these type of thing in its strongest word.
Mr. Yadav, a spokesperson of your political party, has come out and supported this man. His bites are all over ANI. Why is your party speaking in two different voices tonight?
Means you're asking me?
Yes, sir.
You're asking me?
Yes, sir.
Means what? He's not a responsible person. His organization started in 2022.
Okay. Quick response, Mr. VHP spokesperson. 1 second. Okay, 10 seconds. Mr. Bhandari, quick response.
His spokesperson officially is endorsing what the Maulana has said, that the Maha Kumbh is on Waqf land. If that is the case, they should remove the spokesperson. Number two, in Sambal case, these individuals had altered the ASI protected monument, which is against the ASI Act, and they do not want the Hindu temple of Hanumanji Mandir, which has been locked since last 40 years, to even come out. This is their strategy, that ये दिखाएंगे संबल का डॉक्यूमेंट लेके गए थे समाजवादी पार्टी वाले कि भाई ये लो वक्फी प्रॉपर्टी संबल में, और अभी कैटेगोरिकली इसके खिलाफ नहीं बोल सकते तारिक खान.
And the interesting thing is, viewers, that the documents that were produced, 1 second, the documents that were produced, the Waqf so-called claim, turned out to be fake.
Yes.
It turned out to be fake, viewers. It was a fake document. Nonetheless, VHP National Spokesperson is here with us. And I want to bring you in, sir, on this very important point. Mr. Nair, I want you to respond to me and tell me that the charge is that all of you organizations, especially the All India Akhada Parishad, the reason why these claims are being made is because they have said no Sanatanis, non-Sanatanis will not be given permission to set up stalls in the Kumbh Mela area. And they are saying that this is discriminatory. And that is the reason why we are making this statement, because what you have said is hurtful. It is like an apartheid. So now here you go. We are also giving you something that will make you feel extremely upset.
See, first of all, this is bizarre and nonsense. They're claiming Kumbh land belonging to Waqf Board. This is a pure nuisance, because it's high time the government of India, It's high time to ban this Waqf Board at all. It has to be scrapped. We all know Islam has nothing to do with this Bharat Bhumi, this land called Bharat Bhumi. It has nothing to do. Mr. Waris Pathan was saying 500 years back there was no practice of registering property. 500 years back, absolutely it is right that some invaders from the Arab world came and ruled our country in bits and pieces. They were invaders, and all those have gone back, and some who remained are tea sellers, like Mughals, are tea sellers in this country. And the Muslims in these countries, their forefathers, their ancestors were Hindus. How can they claim the legacy of Mughals, Mongols, Turks, or Khiljis, or whoever it may be? So this is absolutely bizarre nonsense. It is high time the government scraps. 14th century Islam came into
No, so hang on. The government, one second, the government is represented by the BJP. We all know the history, sir. The BJP National Spokesperson is sitting right in front of you, Mr. Bhandari.
I am absolutely.
So I'm asking you, one date of parliament has come and gone. Now another extension has been sought. This looks like something that is going to continue.
Rahul,
the amendment is gone.
Article 370 was abrogated by Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government. I assure you, and I can give this to you in writing, that it will be this government which will pass it through the parliament in a democratic manner.
From the BJP government,
Okay.
The way we are hopeful for Ram Temple.
But Mr. Nair,
only BJP
let me
can
ask you.
scrap this.
No, that's fine. But the RSS chief has come out and said, stop looking under all temples now.
Look at the intentions.
Just leave it.
Is what I wanted to say.
This is not right.
Honorable, respected Mohan Bhagwatji also said the people of this country, everybody is a Hindu. Either they are Hindu.
So that's fine. But he's telling you now simply this. Give up these claims on Sambhal.
They should respect their ancestors.
That's true, Mr. Nair. And that's one of the reasons why India is a multicultural society, is because Hindus are secular. We all understand this. But I want to ask you a question. Mr. Bhagwat is saying that organizations like the VHP and others are going out there and launching campaigns. They all want to become netas. Can you stop this?
See, Rahul, first of all, Mr. Pujaniya Sar Sanchalak ji never quoted VHP's name. And again, I am telling you with full responsibility, VHP was only spearheading Ram Janmabhoomi movement, and we were claiming only 2 temples. When the negotiations were going on, IFS, Mr. Shahabuddin, there was a negotiation with the saints of our country. We had only claimed 3 temples, that is Kashi, Mathura and Ayodhya. Now Ayodhya is a reality, a grand temple has come into existence. Now these 2 temples we are claiming.
Okay,
we
Mr.
never
Pathan.
Spearheaded a movement, or never we have been a part of any movement. But the fact remains,
you heard the VHP.
Thousands and thousands
Okay, you heard the VHP.
By this barbaric invaders.
I will ask you
one second.
question,
No,
Rahul.
Mr. Pathan, one second.
Just now you...
Yeah, there's one small question I have to ask you. Look, your VHP national spokesperson has also come out and said, Ram, Gyanvapi and Mathura. That's it. Nothing else for us. In the spirit of accommodation, if it matters so much, and these are Shakti Peeths, these are also the Vaticans in a sense of the Hindu. Why don't you come forward? Why don't you come? No, 1 second. Why should there not be a settlement?
Why should we come forward always? Why should we come forward?
When have you come forward always?
They conspired. And the Babri Masjid was martyred on 6 December 1992. The democracy of this country.
We have won the case.
Allow
the
me,
Supreme Court.
sir, this is not
Mr.
the
Nair,
way
let him
for
finish.
a decent debate.
It's okay. Let him finish. Yeah,
No,
Mr.
I'm just
Pathan.
correcting
Mr.
it's okay.
Nair,
You can respond. You can respond.
Parishad,
Yeah.
And you are not listening to what Mr. Mohan Bhagwat says. Mohan Bhagwat has clearly said that stop digging up masjids and finding out shivlings. Do some other work. Why don't you listen to him? Because you want to become a neta, you want to become a leader. Every now and then some people come forward and say, okay, I feel that there is a mandir below the masjid and I want to dig up there. Similar thing you did in Ajmer Sharif. Why did you do an application before the Ajmer? Before the Ajmer magistrate, when Modi has sent a chadar there, when Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of the country, has sent a chadar just recently to Ajmer Sharif Dargah, and I was the one, I said, Mr. Modi should have also given a message that I am sending a chadar, it is a dargah, and please don't try to dig out mandir there. He should have also sent a message there.
Okay.
That is why the other people are not listening to anybody.
In the interest of communal amity and harmony, I appeal to all sides here to stop provoking each other. That is what is required. whether it is Mr. Pathan's side, whether it is Mr. Khan's side, the Samajwadi Party side, whether there are these Muslim groups, I think the time has come. Just as.
Or Mr. Rahul
One
Shiv
second.
Shankar.
Yes, whatever, sir. I don't provoke anybody. I ask questions. They are provocative questions. Yes, I agree. But the important thing is that I have to ask these questions so that we can have a better understanding of subjects, and there is no room then left. And I bring all the stakeholders who are the most important ones, including you, Mr. Pathan, so that, viewers, there is no confusion. So we can understand the issues from all its facets, and then we can come to at least one resolution. The time has come perhaps to find a negotiated settlement on these issues. Otherwise, you're going to constantly have trouble like this. And when these individuals from the fringe do speak up, it is the duty of every citizen of this country to shout them down, to tell them they're wrong. You can't have selective approbation. You can't have selective condemnation. You must not have selective condemnation, because it leads viewers to a sense at one level then of retribution. People say, oh, they are getting away. They should not be getting away. We should take matters into our own hands. And that's what we're seeing, viewers, increasingly. Let's lower the temperatures. Let's have the sane voices prevail. Let's have conversations across the aisles. Viewers, I want to move on because there is one place where there is no conversation going on across the aisles. And that is in Delhi. The BJP and the AAP are at each other's throats. And a leaked Comptroller and Auditor General CAG report detailing exorbitant expenditures on the renovation of the Delhi Chief Minister's official residence has ignited a heated political debate ahead of the Delhi elections. The AAP has dismissed the allegations as exaggerated and called the controversy a politically driven attack. The report, which has not yet been officially tabled by the AAP government in the legislature, reveals staggering overspending on the project, with opposition parties, particularly the BJP, using the findings to attack Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party for alleged misuse of public funds. The CNAG report says that Delhi government spent 33 crores, approximately 4 times more than it should have, on the then Chief Minister Kejriwal's residence. Only partial records were made available to CNAG to carry out the audit. PWD didn't conduct feasibility study for the remodeling of the CM's bungalow. Several reminders to the executive engineer of the PWD to make the complete records available to CNG were not heeded. The PWD did not explore the possibility of tendering for additional works amounting to 25.8 crores, viewers. There was no additional tendering. These are big questions that now stare back at the Aam Aadmi Party, because what does the BJP say? The BJP says that this points to an alleged misuse of public funds. The AAP's number one, viewers, the AAP's number one claim to fame is that it fights corruption tooth and nail. Now you have a situation where the allegations of the misuse of public funds being made by the CNAG, should the AAP come out and clarify all these points that the CNAG has raised, and why isn't it doing so? Why hasn't there been a point-by-point rebuttal? Why haven't they tabled the CNAG report as they must in the State Assembly? Let's ask this question, and I want to go straight across to two voices tonight. Pradeep Bhandari will be taking on a sympathizer of the AAP called Piyush Joshi. Where's Piyush Joshi? Let's bring him on. The AAP, viewers, has not sent a formal representative from their party to this debate. Neither have they indulged in, as I said, a public point-by-point rebuttal to some of the questions that have been raised. And this begs, viewers, a number of questions. And those questions, viewers, I have already put out for you. Fundamental question is, why is it that the AAP has not tabled the CNAG report? What is it scared of? Should it not be following the process and the procedure that is instrumental? Let's open this up, viewers. Let's open this up. First things first. The one line, Pradeep Bhandari, that the AAP has come out with is saying this is diversion. You have been banging on, and there Mr. Piyush Joshi is there. You have been banging on and on about this. And now the CNAG seems to have brought out some facts. This is just like 2G. Nothing comes out of it. How do you respond to that quick charge before I bring in Mr. Joshi?
Well, Rahul, an individual like Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, who's on the bank of Mr. Anna Hazare, promised that he will live in a 2 BHK, promised that he is a common man. His common man reality is a 70-80 crore sheesh mahal that he made looting the public money during the time of COVID. Please tell me what's the logic for a common man to have, and this is the exact original report which was also vetted by the PWD and CAG, a jacuzzi in his common man sheesh mahal, a spa, a shower in a spa, a private bar, a private mini bar worth 4.8 lakh rupees. तो दिल्ली में एक के एक शराब की दुकान खोल दी और अपने बड़े शीश महल में private bar. And if that was not enough, 50 lakh kitchen equipment, a private vanity kit, a special TV comes from Switzerland worth 20 lakh. And you know what? He did not even allow an open tender for it. Let me quote what the PWD said. The list prepared by the PWD was ad hoc, inefficient, deficient, as if only one contractor was qualified. There is massive corruption in the tendering process. Point number 2, it does not even limit here. The matter of unavailability of record was taken up with the executive engineer and the principal secretary PWD. Despite several reminders, complete records were not shown. And Rahul, all of this was happening at the time of COVID.
Okay.
So with 80 crores, you could have made road. With 80 crores, you could have made with 80 crores, you could have ensured Yamuna is clean, but they did not do so. This is blatant, absolute corruption.
Mr. Joshi, there is a Prime Minister in Canada that might be stepping down on lesser charges. And I want to ask you, sir, here you have the AAP that came up on an anti-corruption plank, and the CAG has made some damaging claims. And we have not had a point-by-point rebuttal. We have not even had the CNAG report. In fact, Justin Trudeau has just stepped down, viewers. But very quickly, Mr. Joshi, make a quick rebuttal on this point. I want to ask you, why have we not even tabled the CNAG report? What are you scared of?
Rahulji, as the session of the Delhi Assembly is over, so that's why the CNAG report was not tabled.
You can call for a special session, and in fact, the session ended on a particular date. The report was already available much before that.
BJP would love nothing more than to create this non-issue and turn this non-issue into an issue. Forget about it. Now, where does Mr. Bhandari comes at this figure of 80 crores? The CNAG has said that 33 crores has been spent. Few months back we have been debating about.
No, but it's 4 times more than what it was supposed to be. No, I'm not asking for that. Mr. Joshi, why are you responding? Where is the AAP?
Just hold on, sir. That's for the AAP to answer. You called me, I'm here on the show.
But the AAP is not, that's what I'm saying. Why isn't the AAP making a public representation of the facts?
Rahulji, you should ask the AAP representatives and the AAP Political Affairs Committee and their media personnel. That why they have not sent their representative. I'm here replying to your question.
Well, maybe viewers, because the AAP is running away from some of the direct questions. Could that be a possibility?
I'm giving you a very direct reply to the direct questions which have been posed by you. We have been discussing about this issue, and I am told that...
Viewers, one second. Mr. Joshi, 1 second. I've got some big breaking news coming in. I have to go towards it. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has stepped down, viewers. This decision has just been communicated by him to the national parliament in his country. He has tendered his resignation because he has been deemed extremely unpopular. Let's listen in.
This again. Bon matin. Every morning I've woken up as Prime Minister. I've been inspired by the resilience, the generosity, and the determination of Canadians. It is the driving force of every single day I have the privilege of serving in this office. That is why, since 2015, I've fought for this country, for you, to strengthen and grow the middle class. Why we rallied to support each other through the pandemic, to advance reconciliation, to defend free trade on this continent, to stand strong with Ukraine and our democracy, and to fight climate change and get our economy ready for the future. We are at a critical moment in the world. Mes chers Canadiens, à chaque matin, je me suis réveillé en tant que Premier ministre, inspiré par la résilience, la générosité et la détermination qui nous caractérisent si bien en tant que Canadiens. C'est ce qui me motive à chaque jour où j'ai le privilège de servir dans ce poste. C'est pourquoi, depuis 2015, Je me suis battu pour ce pays, pour vous, pour renforcer la classe moyenne. Pourquoi nous nous sommes mobilisés en tant que Canadiens pour se soutenir les uns les autres pendant la pandémie, pour faire progresser la réconciliation, pour défendre le libre-échange sur notre continent, pour notre soutien inébranlable de l'Ukraine et de la démocratie, et pour lutter contre les changements climatiques et préparer l'économie de l'avenir. Nous traversons vraiment un moment.
That is a translation also in French, viewers, for the Quebecers. As you know, that there's a province in Canada that speaks French, and that message is going out to the French-speaking Canadians from Mr. Trudeau. Siddhant is also there with us. The irony, viewers, however, is that the pro-Khalistan MP and his group of MPs in Parliament, we're talking about Jagmeet Brar, is the one who has actually pulled the rug from under Trudeau. The man whose agenda Mr. Trudeau was flying high to the point that he took up cudgels, to the point that he even wanted to risk his country's relationship with a long-standing, steadfast friend like India, viewers. That man, that Khalistani, has backstabbed Trudeau today. Many people will see this as poetic justice. Let me bring in Siddhant. Siddhant, look, there is no point gloating because this has very little to do, literally, with anything that India might have orchestrated or anything like that. But this has come up, isn't it, at one level? Mr. Trudeau being shown the door because the NDP moves a no-confidence threat. The NDP, of course, is of Jagmeet Brar, and he doesn't have the numbers.
Well, that's right, Rahul. And in fact, all this theatrics, Rahul, that we have been seeing from last 6 months was being done by Mr. Trudeau because he knew that his position is not strong as a Prime Minister. And this is the reason, you know, Rahul, the blame on India for the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar, coming up with the evidence, allegations, etc., etc. So all that was done only to consolidate his position. But all these theatrics have failed, and now he has announced that he will step down as the leader of the Liberal Party, and he will continue as the Prime Minister of Canada unless party gives the new leader.
Okay.
So the session of the Canadian Parliament has been postponed to until March 24, Rahul, because Justin Trudeau has this fear that his opponents, Jagmeet Singh and Conservative Party, could bring no confidence motion against him in January. So he has postponed the session. So the first session of the Canadian Parliament will now sit in March. Till then, Trudeau will continue as the Prime Minister.
Interim Prime Minister.
131 MPs, Liberal MPs, have gone against him, Rahul, and that what has made him to resign. Ontario caucus, Atlantic province, Quebec caucus, 131 MPs, Rahul, we broke this story this morning, have gone against him, and that perhaps compelled him to resign. In October, the number was 24. In December, the number was 50. He managed. But since the number has gone up to 131, there was no option left for him but to step down.
Let me bring in Dean Baxendale, Canadian journalist, Brahma Chileni, Indian strategic analyst here into this conversation. Dean Baxendale, first to you. How do you see this? What are the factors that triggered the resignation? And do you now believe that the next incumbent, whoever it is going to be, will also be as over-leveraged as Trudeau was to the Khalistanis? Okay, we're having a problem connecting there. We're going to bring in Mr. Brahma Chileni first. Mr. Chileni, a very quick one on what do you see unfold here? What's in it for India, if anything at all? Do you think the next incumbent will be wanting to distance himself from the adventurism that Mr. Trudeau embarked upon?
Well, the answer is that Canada, over the last several decades, has refused to clean up its act, despite the Air India bombing of 1985, and it'll be very difficult to expect that the new government, whoever is the next Prime Minister, is going to start cleaning up the act. But what this really does is that, after nearly 10 years in power, Trudeau is leaving. He's leaving a country whose foreign policy has been damaged under his stewardship. He has damaged Canada's relations with the two most important nation powers, China and India, and his own foreign policy in relation to the US, especially with Trump now taking office, isn't looking good, because Canada is facing the threat of major US tariffs.
Yeah.
80% of Canada's exports go to the US, so it's very vulnerable.
Okay, very vulnerable. Very vulnerable, Professor Chireni. Still, doesn't mean that Canada's out of the woods. Mr. Faulkner and Mr. Baxendale also here with us. Mr. Faulkner, we've of course had conversations earlier, and some of them have been more truculent than the one today. But in India, of course, a lot of people will be delighted at this news, because it appears that Mr. Trudeau has been hoisted on his own petard. He went out there and he felt that the Khalistani cause was one worth championing, to the point where relations with India were strained, and the guy who has done an et tu brute on him is the same pro-Khalistani separatist leader and member of parliament in Canada who has thrown him under the bus, Jagmeet Brar.
Well, if people in India are celebrating this news, the people in Canada are also celebrating, probably even more so. Justin Trudeau was out of options. He had run his political course. He has no more political capital. He had spent it on these woke initiatives. He had spent it again on the Khalistani issue, on the mass immigration issue, and he has left himself with nothing else but to resign, to fall on his sword as he has done today. And as should be noted by the audience, Trudeau will not leave the Prime Minister's office for another few months until the Liberals find a sacrificial lamb to end up being destroyed by Pierre Poilievre in an October federal election. This is going to be a major victory for incoming U.S. President Donald Trump, whose presence as the president-elect has essentially triggered this fallout for Justin Trudeau. Think about it. The incoming president has managed to sideswipe a Canadian prime minister before coming back into power. It was that relationship and that meeting at Mar-a-Lago which precipitated the Chrystia Freeland resignation, which resulted in this announcement today. So it is a major day for Canadian politics. It will shock the Canadian system here, and it is to be seen what will happen for Canada's political system in the next few months.
Okay, stay on with me. Let me also bring in Dean Baxendale. Mr. Baxendale, good evening from India. It's probably morning there in Canada. Simple question. Where do we go from here? Do you think the next incumbent will be a little more sympathetic to making the right noises when it comes to repairing the relationship with India? Or are we expecting to see the same trajectory?
Well, I think there will be a reset on India, but as your former guest just mentioned, really this is about setting the table with the United States. Canada is under a great deal of pressure to fix a number of key issues around economics and national security regarding the border, the fentanyl crisis. But ultimately, all of this, I guess, played out, at the end of his holiday. He had a nice ski trip out west. So let's hope that he enjoyed that. And ultimately, now it's to get down to business. Proroguing Parliament, allowing himself to stay in power for a few months, will allow the Liberals to reset, put in some new leadership that may move them from probably less than 10 seats, as some of the projections had them at, to maybe they get back to 40 to 60, which at least leaves the party intact. But as far as resetting with India, yes, I think this creates an opportunity on that front. I think it creates an opportunity, though, to look at diaspora politics in the country writ large. We have not dealt with this from a national security level. We have allowed foreign governments to interfere inside of Canada for decades. And it's about time we reset this and provided our law enforcement with the tools and the backing, political backing, to get to the bottom of this and root out terrorists and other malign state actors inside our government, inside our country, including organized crime that are affecting our streets and ultimately our geopolitical stance.
Well, that might be a prophetic slip of tongue. There might be a few terrorists even within your government, or at least were, when Jagmeet was there. Anyhow, I leave it at this, viewers. It's been a great overview with Mr. Faulkner, Mr. Chellaney and Mr. Baxendale. We'll, of course, come back and talk about this story as the evening wears on. But I want to focus on a more immediate at hand problem. Is HMPV the new COVID-19? That's the fundamental question. This strain of influenza has already created chaos in China, where once again it has broken out near Wuhan. Hospitals are packed and overflowing with patients. The influenza has been around for some time and there are no medicines that can treat it, and neither are there any vaccines. Thankfully, as of now, it isn't the killer that COVID-19 was. It does create breathing difficulty and is known to hit infants and the old and infirm, but only in severe cases does it lead to pneumonia. Unfortunately, the HMPV strain has been detected in India. There are a handful of cases that have been observed in Karnataka and Gujarat. The news led to a sharp correction in stock prices, and the government came out with a statement. JP Nadda, Health Minister, came out and said health experts have clarified that HMPV is not a new virus. It spreads more during winter and early spring months. Health Ministry, ICMR and National Center for Disease Control are keeping a close watch on the situation in China. There is no reason to worry. Health systems and surveillance networks remain vigilant, ensuring the country is ready to respond promptly to any emerging health challenges. The symptoms of HMPV are quite like those seen in patients with mild COVID-19 infections. And viewers, as we go across to Dr. Bagai, we're going to leave on the screen a quick summary of the symptoms so that you can have a look at it. In moderate cases, persistent cough, wheezing and fatigue. Severe cases, bronchitis, bronchiolitis or pneumonia, as I said, and you can see some of those symptoms. Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, chairman of Nephron Clinic, is here with us. Dr. Bagai, how wary should we be of HMPV and what to do to avoid it?
So this virus, which is called as Metanovirus or human Metanovirus, is not a new kid on the block. It has been in existence for the past 2.5 decades. It was first discovered in Netherlands in 2001, and thereafter it has been circulating worldwide. There have been surges even in Vietnam, in Japan, in China from the year 2003 till 2018, various outbreaks. So it's not new. But I think this is the outbreak coming now from China, in which we've seen few cases here in India, and we have isolated the virus, is a cause of bringing attention towards respiratory infections. In winter months, the respiratory infections do increase, especially in children, and this peaks between the age group of 6 months to 12 months.
What are the precautions? How do we avoid this, Dr. Bagai? How do we stay safe?
Yeah, so a host of viral infections infect the respiratory tract in children. It's the commonest ones. And the common ones, apart from the metanovirus, pneumovirus, is HSV and indeed influenza, amongst others. So I think what we need to do is to keep a safe distance, especially children not being exposed to very close, crowded areas, poorly ventilated areas, exposure to extreme cold. If anyone has a cold and cough, they should keep themselves away from the crowd. Wearing a mask is extremely important, even for parents, because very often they can be asymptomatic carriers, bringing the infection to the children. Look out for early signs of breathlessness, cough, fever, rash. Don't self-medicate. Keep yourself well hydrated, good nutrition, and make sure that the child is well fed. Look out for signs of panting, breathing difficulty, and so on.
Well, Dr. Bagai, thank you very much for putting this into perspective. Of course, we'll be following this story very closely, viewers, and keeping you updated on latest developments, even if it means that we have to put down more resources in harm's way. Thank you very much for watching Palki Sharma with The Vantage, where we're going to look at the Canadian story as well as, of course, the HMPV.
Presented by Can the BJP end its 27-year-long power drought in Delhi? Well, the party is employing a multi-pronged strategy to live up to this challenge as it senses anti-incumbency against the Aam Aadmi Party's decade-long rule and feed